In this video, we're going to go over essential information for using the Garmin Alpha300, the smartphone app, and CalTopo. The scope of this video is just what you need to know to be an effective handler or flanker. Since the Alpha devices use a rechargeable battery, you should get in the habit of charging it after each training session or call out. It uses a standard USB-C cable which plugs into the port on the back of the device, underneath the water-resistant cover. Be sure to reinstall this cover after charging it so it doesn't break off. When you plug it in, the unit will turn itself on and you'll see the charge indicator on the display. The button on the left side of the device is the power button. Press and hold to power it on or off. There are 3 physical buttons above the screen and 3 buttons on the right side of the device. These can be configured to do certain things, such as marking a waypoint. By default, the ones above the screen are set to go to the map, show the dog compass, and mark a waypoint. On top of the screen is a region called the training bar. By default, the training bar is visible. Also by default, the 3 actions available are show the map screen, show the dog compass, and mark a waypoint. At the bottom of the screen are several icon buttons. The first is a little red house or the home button. Pressing that brings up a scrollable list of major functions such as the waypoint manager and the hunt feature. Whenever this icon is visible, tapping on it will bring you to the function screen. Next to that is a map icon. Whenever this is visible, tapping on it will bring up the map screen. The third one is the dog compass, which will show you the direction and distance to a track device such as a dog collar or other Alpha units. The fourth one is the 3 bars icon, which brings up a contextual menu. The options in this menu change depending on what's on the screen at the time. Note that when you press the home button, the red house icon changes to a wrench and screwdriver icon. Pressing that wrench icon drops you into a scrollable list of various setup tools, such as Bluetooth. When you're in the setup view, the wrench icon changes back to the home icon, so you can exit and get back to the major function view. While you're in any one of the setup tools, the icon in the lower left corner changes to a back arrow, which will bring you back to the setup tools view. The power button on the left side of the device has an additional capability. Tapping it brings up a special screen that lets you set the screen brightness, locks and unlocks the touchscreen, locks and unlocks the physical buttons, and configures the ability of the device to be tracked by other Alpha devices. Whatever you do, don't plug your Alpha into your computer and mess around in the file system. You will most likely move or delete something you shouldn't have, and you risk bricking the device. Section 1. Pairing with a smartphone. The Alpha device can work in conjunction with your smartphone. At the moment, there are 2 apps available. The Alpha app currently is being redesigned and doesn't handle the hunt feature, so don't install this one. The Garmin Explore app works much better. You should install this app on your phone. When you install it for the first time, you will need to create an account with Garmin using an email address and a password that you create. This is free. Remember this information in case you get a new phone or reinstall the app. Please note that other STU members cannot help you remember or reset this password. The Explore app communicates with the Alpha device via Bluetooth. Note, it is not necessary to turn Bluetooth off on your phone. Modern Bluetooth hardware consumes almost no power when it's not connected to something. And when it is connected, the transactions are fairly brief, so the power consumption is very low. On iOS, the battery section of settings will show you what's consuming power and how much. You should not attempt to pair your phone and your Alpha when other people are trying to do the same, because you won't know whose device is communicating with whose phone. Note the terms pairing and syncing are entirely different. Pairing informs the two devices of each other and should only need to be done once unless you change phones or reinstall the app on your phone. Syncing transfers information from one device to another. This usually happens automatically, but you can manually initiate a sync operation. To pair the Alpha with the Explore app, follow these steps. On the Alpha, tap the Home button and the wrench icon. Scroll the setup page until you see the Bluetooth icon and tap it. The screen will show Phone Setup at the top. At the bottom, it will show a Continue button. Launch the Explore app. At the bottom of the screen are 4 icons. The one on the left is the Devices icon, which looks like a watch and a handheld GPS unit. Tap that icon. Tap the plus icon in the upper right corner. The phone will begin searching for devices. On the Alpha device, tap the Continue button. At this point, the phone will search for the Alpha and request to be paired. The Alpha will show a 6-digit number on the screen. Enter that number on the phone. One of the things that can happen during a sync operation is a software update. This can take some time via Bluetooth. Once the software update transfer is completed, you will need to cycle the power on the Alpha for the new software to be installed. If you have to repair the Alpha, you need to do a few things. First, on the Alpha device, you need to tell it to forget the phone it's connected to in the Bluetooth setting. Then on the Explore app, you need to tap on Devices, then the Alpha item in the list, and then the 3 dots in the upper right corner and tap Remove Device. If you're using an iPhone, there's one more step. Launch the Settings app and tap on Bluetooth. You'll see a list of devices that the iPhone is paired with. One of these will be Alpha300. Tap the letter I in the blue circle and tap Forget Device. There is a quirk with Bluetooth connectivity in some cases. If your phone and your Alpha were happily connected and syncing, and you put your Alpha in your vehicle and walked out of range, such as might happen if you go to IC and debrief or get lunch, your Alpha and your phone may not reconnect automatically. Rebooting the Alpha will cause it to reconnect. Any sync operations, such as might happen after you end the hunt, will resume. Section 2, Pairing with a dog collar. This section is optional for flankers. In order to add a tracking collar to the Alpha device, follow these steps. Tap on the Home icon. Look for the icon that says Dog List and tap on it. At the top of the screen, you'll see 3 icons. The one on the left is a dog. Tap on that icon if it's not already highlighted. Below that, there is an Add Dog button. If you have the collar with you, keep its power off and tap the Pair Collar Pairing mode. Follow the instructions on the screen. Once it's paired, you'll see it in the list below the Add Dog button. By tapping on the collar on the list, you can change the color of the track, the name of the dog, etc. It's a good idea to rename the collar to your dog's name, e.g. Canine Sir Barks-a-Lot. Doing this will help identify it in CalTopo later on. Collars can also be made inactive even though they are powered on. If you're not seeing your dog on the map or the dog compass screen, double check that the active switch is turned on. If you want to add a collar to your list for someone else's dog, you can have them tell you what its track or control code is. In this case, you would add dog and choose Enter Track or Control Code Pairing Mode and type in the code. With this method, you don't have to have the collar. The other handler would have to have already paired the collar with their Alpha, and they would tell you the code. Section 3, loading map information from CalTopo. There are times when you want to transfer some information from a search map in CalTopo onto your Alpha, such as segments. This can get confusing when whoever created the segments used simple names such as segment 2 or simply 2. If you don't clean up and delete old information regularly, you'll wind up with multiple instances of 2 on your Alpha. We'll go over housekeeping chores in a later section. To get started, launch CalTopo on your phone and load up a map. Tap on the Map Items icon, which looks like a folder with a waypoint symbol in it. It's located at the top of the screen, second icon from the right. Above the list of map items, you'll see Import and Export. Tap on Export. Change the format from GeoJSON full backup to GPX handheld GPSs. Forgetting to do this is a common mistake. Most likely, you won't want everything, so uncheck everything you don't want to export. On a large mission, it may be faster to tap Check, Uncheck All, and then just check the items you want. Tap and drag the list up to reveal more items, and particularly the orange Export button at the bottom. A destination drawer opens. The second row of icons allows you to pick the app you want to send the data to, which in our case is Explore. Scroll that to the left if you don't see Explore. If you get to the end and still don't see Explore, you'll see a More icon with 3 dots in it. Tapping on that brings up a large list of apps. Explore should be in that list. When you tap on Explore, you'll see a message saying Import Successful along with the name of the collection where you will find the items and segments. Tap Done. The Explore app should show you a map and a list of the things you exported. You might want to rename segments in here in order to make them easier to find on your Alpha device. Tap on an item in the list and then tap on the Customize button. Tapping on the name allows you to edit it. Everything you exported from CalTopo to Explore appears in its own collection. Once you have information from CalTopo in the Explore app, when the app syncs, those items will now be available on the Alpha device. Segments can be found in the Track Manager of the Alpha device. Waypoints can be found in the Waypoint Manager. By default, segments or drawn objects that aren't waypoints do not appear on the Alpha's map, so you have to turn them on. Tap on the Home button. Tap on the Track Manager. Scroll through the list to find the segment you want and tap on it. Look for where it says Show on Map and tap. The little switch icon will change and turn blue. From here, you can change the color of the segment to something that's more visible. Light colors are hard to see on the Alpha screen during the daytime. Section 4, using the Hunt feature. The purpose of the Hunt feature is to create a track for you and your dog that starts when you begin the hunt and stops when you end the hunt. Even though the system is continually recording the GPS positions of this feature trims off everything that happened before you started the hunt and everything after the hunt is ended. The resulting subtrack appears in a hunt collection on the app on your phone. It's a good idea to create a hunt for each assignment. It keeps the resulting map cleaner. Be sure that if you want to capture the dog's track, that the collar is turned on and the Alpha device is getting the collar's position before you start a new hunt. Tap the Home button. Tap the new Hunt button. Note that while a hunt is being recorded, this button's text changes to Hunt. If you forgot to end a hunt during your last training or call out, tap Hunt, tap End Hunt, and start a new one. The screen will change and ask you if you want to change your track devices. As a sanity check, you might want to always tap Yes to be sure that you haven't turned off the dog's collar. The screen now shows a list of dog collars. On the right edge of each collar line is a switch. Tapping on the line will toggle that collar. When that switch is on, light blue, that color's position will be recorded in the hunt. When you've got the screen set up the way you want, tap the back arrow in the lower left corner. The screen will now ask you if you want to clear device tracks and statistics. You should always tap yes. The screen will now ask if you want to set your current position as the truck waypoint. Tap yes if you are indeed standing next to your vehicle. Tap no if you are already out in the field and starting a new assignment. This completes the hunt starting process. You may get a notification on your phone that a new collection has been created. Tap the home button or the map button so you don't inadvertently tap the end hunt button before you're really done. When you have completed your assignment, end the hunt. Tap the home button, tap the hunt button, tap the end hunt button. Tap yes to end the hunt and tap done. You may get a notification on your phone that a new collection has been created. Go into the phone app and tap on the saved icon at the bottom. This is the second icon from the left and looks like a bookmark. In this screen are activities, collections, and all items. Activities and collections are a horizontal scrollable list and appear in chronological order with the newest on the left of the list. When you tap on a hunt collection, you'll see a map of the tracks at the top and then a row of buttons, add, share, and 3 dots. Below that will be a button that has a number of activities. When you tap on that, you'll see your track, your dog's track, and the truck waypoint. There are some quirks with the hunt feature. Sometimes when you start a new hunt, the sync operation creates a new collection on your phone, and there might be a partial track from the last place you had your Alpha on to where you are now. Whatever is in this collection is really garbage and can be disregarded. Once you end the hunt, the collection that gets created contains the tracks you're really interested in. Section 5, transferring information from the app to CalTopo. This section is primarily for dog handlers since it's the way you can get your dog's track onto the CalTopo map for the mission. If needs be, you could transfer the Alpha's track and or waypoints that you may have created as well. Usually you'll want to open up the hunt collection associated with your most recent assignment in the Explore app. In the Explore app, tap on the saved icon, scroll through the collections list to find the desired hunt collection and tap on it. Tap on the Activities button. You should see 3 items listed there: the Alpha's device track, the dog's track, and the truck waypoint. Tap on the dog's track. You may want to rename the track to include the date. To do this, tap on the 3 dots button. This brings up a menu with some options, including Edit. Tap on the Edit item. From here, you can tap on the name to change it, then tap on the Save button in the upper right corner. Tapping the Share button brings up a drawer, allowing you to choose a destination. The second row of icons is how you locate the CalTopo app. Scroll that to the left if you don't see CalTopo. If you get to the end and still don't see CalTopo, you'll see a More icon. Tapping on that brings up a large list of apps. CalTopo should be in that list. Tap it and CalTopo will appear on your screen with some options to pick what you want to import. You should be able to just tap the orange Import button. If you forgot to change the name of the dog's track in the Explore app, you can still change it in CalTopo. Section 6, cleaning up old information. The best way to clear out old tracks, segments, and waypoints is through the Explore app. This can be done in the Saved screen. Scroll the saved list down to all items. Tapping the 3 dots on the right of each item brings up a menu. You can delete one item from this menu. If you want to delete a bunch of items, tap the Select Menu item after tapping the 3 dots. A list of all the items will appear with checkable buttons on the left side of each one. Check the ones you want to delete and tap Delete at the bottom right. There is also a Select All item in the upper left corner. Note, deleting a collection doesn't delete the items that were in it, and deleting all the items that were in a collection doesn't delete the collection item. You have to delete the contents and the collection separately. To delete a collection, you need to tap on it, then tap the three dots button and tap delete. Once you've deleted everything you want to get rid of and the app syncs with the Alpha device, those items also get deleted on the Alpha device. One thing you may want to do at the start of each training or call out is discard the Alpha's track. Section 7, the map display. When your Alpha is on the map screen, you can configure it in several ways. Tapping the three bars button in the lower right corner brings up a contextual menu. The first item is Map Setup. From here, you can turn the training bar row of on-screen buttons on and off, or the data fields display on and off. With factory defaults, the training bar functions are the same as the functions of the physical buttons above the screen. Since this takes up screen real estate, you may want to turn these off. The data fields display shows 4 different things, such as your current location, your current heading, your elevation, etc. When this is turned on and the map is being shown, the data fields take up a lot of screen space. There's a little drawer button that allows you to temporarily close this, but every time you switch to the map screen, it reopens. To change any of the data fields, tap the data field. You'll be presented with a categorized list of data types that you can use. Probably the most important one will be locations selected, which can be found in the current status category. This is how you get UTM or some other coordinate format to appear. The other variation is location lat long, which appears only as degrees decimal minutes. We'll talk about how to set the selected format in a moment. Other things you can do in the map setup in the advanced page are setting the map orientation to north up or track up. North up is recommended because the rotation of the map doesn't happen very quickly like it does on CalTopo on your phone, so it's easy to get confused. Also under track devices, you will see, among other things, dog display. Tapping on that brings up some options such as show dog distances, which can be useful to see exactly how far away your dog is. This is also useful for other Alpha devices. Now here's how you configure the coordinate system that location selected will use. Get your device back to the main screen so the home button is visible. Tap on the home button. That button changes to the wrench and screwdriver icon. Tap that. Swipe down until you see System and tap on that. Tap on Units. There are some useful options in here, but the one we're interested in is Position Format. Tap on that. Now it shows 3 options. Map Datum and Map Spheroid should be both WGS84. Tapping on Position Format will bring up a huge list of options. The one we're interested in is UTM UPS. Tap on the back arrow in the lower left corner until the map icon appears and tap on that. Your data field's location selected should now be UTM. By the way, whatever position format you have selected is the one that will be used when you edit the coordinates of a waypoint. Section 8, Waypoints. You can mark waypoints on your Alpha as well as on CalTopo. The current directive from YCSO is to only mark waypoints on CalTopo after getting approval from the incident commander. You may want to mark things for your own needs, such as any time your dog exhibits a change in behavior. By default, the Alpha is set up to use the top right button above the screen as the mark button. Also by default, the training bar on the screen has the right button configured to mark a waypoint. They do the same thing. You can configure your Alpha to have these 2 buttons do something else, but let's assume that we're using the factory defaults. When you press the mark button, a notice appears on the top of the screen saying waypoint number marked. The device will automatically increment to the number to the next available one, but if you quickly tap on the notice, you can edit the waypoint's information. This is how you can rename the waypoint to something more useful or enter a coordinate of something. With practice, you could edit the coordinate to whatever you're hearing over the radio, but you'll probably want to write it down. Section 9, tracking other Alphe units. In a similar way that the Alphe tracks dog collars, it can also track other Alphe units. This can be useful when you don't have cellular coverage for CalTopo. In order for CalTopo to show you the positions of your teammates, it needs good cellular data signal. In order for your Alphe to be visible, it needs to broadcast its data. To turn this on, tap the power button. On the right side of the screen are 4 button areas. The third one from the top is the broadcast control and is labeled My ID. When broadcasting is active, this button will show a 2-part number, such as 2-8. This is the ID number you would need to give other people in order for them to add your device to their Alphe and vice versa. If it's not broadcasting, the button will say off. To turn it on, tap it and then tap the switch on the right side where it says transmitting. You shouldn't need to change the ID or the update rate. To add an Alphe device to your list of tracked devices, follow these steps. Tap on the home icon. Tap on the dog list. At the top of the screen, you'll see 3 icons. The one in the middle is a person. Tap on that icon if it's not highlighted. Below that, there is an add button. Tap on that. Tap Enter ID. You will be presented with a scrollable list of all the possible ID numbers. Locate the one that you got from the other person's Alphe and tap it. You will then be prompted to set the name of the person. When you're done editing the name, tap the green check button in the lower right corner. If you need to add more devices, tap Add More, otherwise tap Finish. You should now see that person's device in the list. When you tap on an item in the list, you can make changes such as the name, the track color, whether or not tracking is active, and if you tap the bar chart icon, you can reset your version of their track. Section 10, Best Practices. We've gone over a lot of things here. There's a lot more that you can play with and use as you like. For example, the device will tell you how many calories it thinks you burned, and sadly, it's not as many as you'd like. Regardless, there are a few best practices you should get in the habit of doing. When you arrive in base camp, turn on your Alphe, and if you're using a dog collar, turn that on as well. The devices need a few minutes to acquire the GPS signal. Once your Alphe has acquired GPS signal, and you'll be able to tell because the pointer on the map is not blinking, discard the current track. Don't start a new hunt until you're ready to go out on an assignment, otherwise you may have a lot of wandering around at base camp as part of your track. Do mark your truck's location when you start the hunt where your vehicle actually is. This is likely different than where base camp is. When you have completed an assignment, end the hunt. If you complete a segment and you call into base for another assignment and they give you an adjacent segment to search, start a separate hunt for that. You may want to manually save at least the dog track from the track manager on your Alphe device as a backup in case the hunt and syncing don't work as expected. Charge up your Alphe and collar when you return home from a training or a call out, just like you would with your radio and other dedicated electronics.